All right, guys. Well, welcome back to another episode. I'm here with David, of course. You guys probably have not seen me yet because I'm in the background doing some magic. But today, the wizard. But today, I think we're going to be touching on a very important aspect that we have between all four of us, and it's the fact that we all live different lifestyles.
Yes, sir.
And well, David here, he's living a rather fucked up lifestyle these days, in my opinion.
Blue collar worker.
Yeah. So,
Shit. What?
blue collar worker, and I think it's gonna be super interesting. So, David, I want you to tell me a bit about what's the lifestyle that you live. What's the hardships through that lifestyle as well.
Well, look, you're opening Pandora's box here because being a blue collar worker has a lot of downsides and a lot of positive aspects to it too. But the hardest part would have to be with time and sleep, really. And there's a routine aspect too, because every day I start work and it's 6 o'clock. I have to be on a job site at 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's crazy.
Usually, because now I'm doing night shifts.
Yeah.
But usually at 6 o'clock in the morning, which means I have to wake up at 4 here every day.
Yeah.
And then you get into a routine and it's early. There's no sunlight. And I think the biggest toll it takes on me would be energy.
Yeah, well, number one, your sleep schedule is off the charts here, right? You're doing night shifts, you're doing day shifts, it's back and forth.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine how the heck do you make time for friends, let alone dare to think.
Yep, because I'm working later.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're working later, right after this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
By the way, Milwaukee, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to do better. I'm advertising DeWalt now. Send me free tools, please. Free tools, and I will change my socks.
Blue collar jokes.
Yeah, I had these on this morning.
Awesome. So tell me about those hardships, right? How do you make time for your friends and your family through your crazy schedule, and also just finding that fucking energy, man?
Yeah, well, it's not as hard as people think it is. What I tend to do for night shifts is I wake up at 12 at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is that I essentially start my day at noon, and the free time I would have normally when I do day shifts, which it would be from 4 to 11-ish at night. Well, now I have from noon to 8.
It's like a full shift.
Exactly.
Like you shifted it all.
Yeah. So instead of having my free time after work, my free time is now before work.
Yeah.
And what I feel that has done is, first of all, it does mess up my sleep schedule a lot, but not as much as reversing the whole thing and keep it going to work and then going to sleep at noon or 8-ish in the morning. But it does take a toll on the time you have for your friends, for your family, and the motivation you have. Because normally when you start off the day with going to work, you get that serotonin, you get pumped up, you get that adrenaline.
Exactly. You're ready for the day.
Yes,
you're
exactly.
You're set.
And then you have your full day's work, and then you felt productive. You pulled wires all day. Now, boom, you've got a building now that has like electricity running through it. All the lights turn on. You fixed some problems. So you've got satisfied clients. You worked with a team of incredible colleagues. When you get home, you're ready to accomplish anything. You'll climb that mountain. You'll go out with your friends to the restaurant. You deserve it. You'll play. I don't know. You'll find the time to play. You'll find the time to find new projects. You'll have the time to cook that nice supper of yours.
You have the energy to do what's needed.
But when you wake up and you've got just free time, that's when, if you have no discipline, like from the get-go, your day will not be productive.
Agreed.
And it's gonna suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
And that's where my struggle comes in with night shifts, is because it's so easy to slip out of that routine, of that discipline,
Yeah.
it's easy not to go to the gym. It's easy not to have a nice breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
It's easy not to do the chores that you had set for yourself the day before.
You know what's crazy though is that I would say that it's the opposite. You actually have the discipline, and it's the discipline for what has to get done, which is the job. And that's like, I give hands to blue collar workers. They're out there. They're out there when people are sleeping. They're out there when it's -30, when it's +40. So I would say you guys have more discipline in that case, and that you just let go of your hobbies and sometimes your family to make sure that the job's done.
Yeah, well, there's something magical about blue collar workers. With the field, you know, people don't know what really happens behind closed doors. You know, behind the fences of the job site.
You never know. You don't see it.
What they know is that sometimes they wake up in the morning and you got a whole highway with new asphalt on it.
Yeah.
It's like
How?
overnight, new highway. What
Yeah.
people don't know is that while they were sleeping, hundreds of workers were on that highway
Exactly.
laying tar, pitch. You had construction workers. You had security people. You had who don't transport.
Well, also like
Truckers. They were all there making sure that by 6 a.m. when people wake up and go to work, the cones were out and the asphalt was laid.
It's working magic.
I know. So that's what's cool. And then there's pay, obviously. Like, you know, we get bonuses for working night shifts, but they're not incredible. I mean, you don't necessarily do it just for the night for that. You also do it because you feel a responsibility towards your company.
Yeah,
and you feel a responsibility towards you go where you're needed too, and that's why I do it, because I feel like I'm needed.
Yeah.
I get called up personally on my cell phone by my boss. Go, Dave, we called you first, and we'd like you to do it. And there's something of
like a pride. Like, would you say you have a
Exactly.
sense of pride to say people like, hey, to tell people, hey, I'm a blue collar worker? Like, there's a sense of pride in that, I would say.
Absolutely.
You're giving yourself in a way to society, where other people, such as myself, honestly, would not want to wake up at that time, get your hands dirty, and it takes a toll on your body as well. You know, your father is a blue collar worker as well, from what I know. He works in construction.
Yeah, well, he has a construction company, and for a couple of years, he definitely did have to wake up at that time.
Yeah,
because he's in sales, but he works in conjunction with blue collar workers.
Yeah.
So yes, obviously, when we're talking about sleep schedules, absolutely,
he's definitely on that scale.
Yeah, but he's not a blue collar.
Okay. But do you think that being a blue collar worker will eventually take a toll on you? Like, do you feel like you can do this for 40, 50 years? Because some people do. Do you see yourself changing career?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, all in time, well, I'll have an answer for that. I don't picture myself doing that forever. Not just because of the toll it has on my health and my physique, but I'd have to say that I'm someone who wants to try out as many things as I can, learn as many things as I can. And there's just a point where, at a certain point, electricity will become easy.
It's gonna be
obviously it always evolves.
It's gonna be
You're always
routine.
learning new things. Yeah. But that day when it becomes repetitive, I'd like to change.
You'd like to change.
I'd like to stay in the blue collar fields. I don't know, maybe not necessarily in construction.
But somewhere along those lines.
But definitely add arrows to my bow.
Yeah.
If that's the expression. Anyhow.
I think it is.
I think it makes sense.
I think it is, yeah.
Strings.
But I would say that I think we need to value blue collar workers more. Just learning about your experience, you know, we're young, we're 22, right? And you're already doing that. People are 40 years old and they're doing that. Like, I can't even imagine like how their backs are hurting. But I think we need to value them more. And one question I have for you, probably my last one, is if you have anything to say to your blue collar worker friends out there, to even the world, you know, our audience, what would it be?
Well, I think as a blue collar worker, I think we demand or we deserve the respect that we deserve. But I think I think we really need to acknowledge the work that goes into keeping, as Jordan B. Peterson would say, this impossible infrastructure functioning.
Yeah.
There is hundreds of thousands of workers making sure that there's no potholes in the street,
Even
that the electricity doesn't cause fire hazards, that the plumbing under the streets, right, all the duct work and all the wires, that they don't go that they don't cause a catastrophic event, that all of these skyscrapers on the island of Montreal, or actually, anywhere, any metropolis, they stay up when they're shaken by an earthquake or like winds. It's all these blue collar workers, men and women, that give their sweat, that they break their bones,
tears and blood, man.
Tears and blood. Yeah,
Sweat,
exactly.
tears and blood.
Exactly. Couldn't have said it better. And it's just because of them that we have all of this.
Agreed.
Just anything, look around you, it's because of them.
Yeah.
So I think we really owe them a thanks and an applaud for that.
Yeah. And on that note, we say thank you to all those blue collar workers out there.
Yeah.
And those who are maybe in the process of becoming them. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. He appreciates you. And those behind the camera as well. Andrew. All right, guys, take it easy.
Politicians.